CrewAI is one of the leading agentic AI framework that is being used by some of the top companies such as Oracle, Deloitte, Accenture, etc. Having CrewAI on your resume can give you a significant career boost. In this crash course, we are going to go over some theory first, then we will start building agents in CrewAI, and we will also build end-to-end project to create a marketing crew. Let us begin with some theoretical foundation. This is their website. They market it as multi-agent platform. Crew means you have multiple agents working together. They have a way to create crew and agents through some UI. They call it UI Studio. We are mainly going to be focusing on the framework, which is by writing code, we will be creating the crews. They have around 30,000 stars on GitHub, which is pretty good. So now, since it is a multi-agent platform, first we need to understand what is agent. So let's spend few minutes understanding what is agent and agentic AI. And if you already know these fundamentals, then you can skip this section and move to coding part. So what exactly is the agent and agentic AI? When you're using ChatGPT, behind the scene, you have LLM as your main component. This LLM can be GPT, Claude, Gemini, anything. When you ask a question, it will generate answer based on the pre-trained knowledge that it has. That is why it's called generative AI. But let's say if you ask a question, what is the price of Emirates flight from place A to B tomorrow? It won't be able to answer because it has a knowledge cutoff, okay? So this is generative AI with only LLM. GPT-4, Claude, whatever model you are using, it will have knowledge cutoff that it's trained until that point of time. And any event that happen afterwards, it won't have the knowledge. But you can give it an access to some external API. Let's say if you give it an access to Expedia API or Make My Trip API, okay, some travel API, then it will be able to call that API and pull the latest price, okay? You can have a different question such as book me cheapest flight from New York to Delhi. And now if LLM has access to Expedia, it will call Expedia for that, source A to source to destination and given date. It will then search for the flights. It will decide which is the cheapest one. And then it will also book it. So here, it's not like ChatGPT, like simple question and answer. It is actually taking action for you, okay? And it will say, okay, flight booked. So this is called AI agent, okay? AI agent is a program that takes inputs, thinks about it. It acts to complete a task using tools, memory, and knowledge. The API that we are using, Expedia, is called tool, okay? And it is autonomous. Autonomous means it is taking action for you, but narrow task. Okay, so here see, it's just simple flight booking. So it's a very narrow task. So if you think about it, it first searched for few flights. Let's say it found 5 flights. Then it decided which is the cheapest one. Let's say this is the cheapest one. So it decided that in autonomous fashion. Okay, it did not ask you. It decided that, hey, this is the cheapest flight. And it also booked it. You see? So that is why we are saying it is autonomous. Okay, so that is your AI agent. Now you can expand this further and you can say, book me a flight for my 7-day trip to New Delhi in May. And I personally like sunny weather. So I also have a requirement that the weather should be sunny all the days. And flight budget is this, no layover. Now LLM can take help of Expedia API for the flight information, but it also wants to know the weather. So maybe for weather, it calls AccuWeather or weather.com, whatever API, right? Google Weather, etc. And it will pull that information. So this LLM can have access to multiple tools. Okay, so it is checking the weather first to find 7 consecutive days in May where the weather is sunny. And for those days, it is comparing the airlines and finding a flight which is in your budget. And not only that, it can also go one step further and give you suggestions for hotel and airport taxi. If you have booked a flight from Make My Trip or Expedia, you will find this, right? They will also give suggestions. So then it will say, okay, flight booked from this date to this date, weather is sunny. I also have good suggestion, okay? So this is a flight booking AI agent. You can also have a system with multiple agents. For example, you have flight booking agent, but if you are not, let's say if you're traveling to India, if you're not Indian citizen, you have to take visa, right? So you can have immigration AI agent, which you can connect to your OneDrive. You can have your passport, your immigration document there, and this LLM can access it, and it can tell you that, hey, you don't need to have a visa. Okay, forget about booking the flight ticket. You first need to get the visa. So this system consists of multiple agents. It is doing multi-step reasoning. It has a multi-turn approach where it is calling multiple agents. Maybe agents are being called multiple times too. And it is multi-step planning. It is working on a complex goal autonomously. Okay, you're just giving it a goal that, okay, book a flight ticket. But the system is checking your visa. It's like if you call a agent, right, travel agent, they will do all of this. So this is similar system, and this is called Agentic AI. Agentic AI is a system where one or more AI agents work autonomously, often over long tasks. They might call LLM multiple times, making decisions using tools, and calling even other agents to reach a goal. And CrewAI helps you build AI agents, especially multi-agent system. Now, there are a lot of other frameworks, right? Agno, Google, ADK, LangGraph, CrewAI. So what is the difference? When should I use what? If you are building lightweight, fast agent, let's say if you want an agent which performs really fast, and if you want to build it quickly, Agno is the framework. Google, you will use if you want tight GCP integration, okay? Let's say your company is in Google ecosystem, and you want to leverage Gemini and all that other ecosystem, Google is good. If you want graph-based stateful orchestration, which is highly customizable, highly reliable agents, then you use LangGraph. And CrewAI is used for role-based orchestration, simple and less customization. Okay, as we write code, you will know more. The power of all these different frameworks. We have separate tutorials for Agno, LangGraph, etc. So you can try it out, and one of the frameworks can work the best for your given use case. We are going to use PyCharm code editor, so you can install it for free by going to their website. By default, it is free forever, and you also get 1 month pro included. Click on download all the common sense steps. The second thing you will install is UV package manager. This is an alternate to pip, and it is very fast. I love it. So just Google UV package manager, and here I'm having Windows. So on your Windows PowerShell, just copy this command and run it. So you can just say PowerShell, Windows PowerShell, okay, and that command is copied, and you can just run enter, and it will install UV for you. The next step is to get Google Gemini key. We are using Gemini model throughout this video. If you want to use on any other model, OpenAI, etc., feel free. In Google, just search get Gemini API key, and when you go to this page, you can click on go to Google Studio, get API key, and create API key. It will ask you to pick a Google Cloud project. So you all have probably Gmail ID. Using that, you log in and create a Google Cloud project. Okay, so just Google Cloud project and go to the projects page, and here you can create a project. Okay, you can create a project. It might ask you for billing details. It won't charge you money. I think it has certain free limits, so don't worry. And once you have created that project, when you say create API key, you will select that project, and then it will generate the API key in that project, and you will save that API key for your usage in this CrewAI tutorial. Let's do project setup. I am in my command prompt. I usually store my code in C code directory. Here, I will say UV init and name of the folder. It can be anything. I will say, let's say CrewAI tutorial. Okay. And see, it created that project. So here, if you look at CrewAI tutorial, it created the basic skeleton, which I'm going to open in my PyCharm. So PyCharm is open. We have a different project open right now, but let me just say open and see code CrewAI tutorial, right? So select a folder and open it in a new window. A quick shout out to Bright Data for sponsoring this video. In agentic AI systems, data is everything, but accessing data on web can be challenging. IP blocks, dynamic pages, captchas. That's where Bright Data MCP comes in. Their MCP empowers your AI agents to discover content on the web, access complex or protected websites, extract real-time structured data, interact with JavaScript-heavy pages just like a human would. Their MCP unlocks the web and dynamically select the best path to collect the data that you need. If you are building with CrewAI, Bright Data is a perfect data engine for your agents. Find a direct link of their MCP on GitHub and get $15 credit and start building today. Links are given in a video description below. Back to the course now. So let me move this thing on side, and here you can see the empty project. Okay, so it created the virtual environment. It also have this PyProject toml file. Okay, so the way it works is if you want to install any new package, usually you do like pip install something, right? But here you will do, let's say, uv add CrewAI tools. So we are going to use this module CrewAI tools for later usage. So I'll just say uv add, and see, it is Rust based framework. It is so fast. So it will resolve all the dependencies and it will add all those packages in your local environment. So that virtual environment that you're seeing, see, it added all of this. And it also updated this PyProject toml file. See, I did not update it, automatically updated it. And it has added now, if you look at it, see, all this package are kind of added, and you can see them in UV, just in case if you are curious, right? In uv.log file, you will be able to see all those packages. Okay. You also need to configure your interpreter. So here, for this project, okay, let me just open. I think here it's indexing. You see it is kind of indexing everything, and you will get a chance to configure your interpreter here. One thing you want to make sure is that your Python interpreter is from this v environment directory. Here, if you go to scripts, you will see a file called python.exe, and that should be your current interpreter. So if you go to settings here, and if you just type Python interpreter here, you see, I have that particular file. If you expand this, this is CrewAI tutorial v environment scripts python.exe. And if that is not the case, you can add a local interpreter and you can add it there. Okay. By default, it will do it automatically, I'm assuming. Now we are going to build our first agent. So let's create a Jupyter notebook here, and we will build an agent that can help you write better professional emails. Okay. So we'll call it email agent. And here you will use Gemini API key. So you need to create this .environment file. So just right click, save file, and just say .environment. Okay. And when you have created that file, you will specify your Gemini API key. So whatever your key is, just copy paste it here. And then to load that API key, you will use the .environment Python module. So from .environment, import load.environment, and just call that function. Okay, and control hit enter and it will run it. Then you will import LLM. So from CrewAI import LLM. Let's just do basic testing if you are able to call simple LLM here or not. So this LLM is going to be, let me just copy paste code to save some time here. So you're using Gemini model. Temperature is that creativity parameter. And you're asking simple question, okay, who invented transcendental meditation? Now I have seen that the first call usually takes long time. I don't know what is the reason, but if it takes even like 20-30 seconds, just have patience. And see, our basic setup of API key, etc. is okay because you're able to call Gemini and get the answer. Now let's use CrewAI to build an agent. So from CrewAI, you will import agent. You will also import task and crew. So in crew, you have to always create the crew. You can't just build an agent and run it. Okay. So that's the design of this particular framework. And the email assistant, okay, I will call it email assistant agent. So this expects couple of parameters. First one is role. Okay. Then comes the goal. Like what is the goal of this email assistant? And then comes backstory. Okay. Now you might have noticed, in order to use ChatGPT effectively, sometimes you give backstory that, Hey, you are an experienced mental therapist, help me with this question. Hey, you are an experienced data analyst, help with this question. Okay, so you specify all those parameters here. So you will say a highly experienced communication expert, skilled in professional email writing. The goal is to improve emails and make them sound professional and clear. Okay, so this is your prompt engineering part, folks. By providing these three parameters, you are giving a lot of details, what role it should assume, what is the goal of this particular agent, and what is their context, their backstory. You're specifying all of that. Okay, and then verbose true, which means it will show you the detailed calls. And LLM, we are using this LLM object that we created here. Okay, so this is how you create an email assistant. Now let's say you have this particular email that you want to improve. See, this is very rough email. Hey team, just wanted to tell you. You see, it's like rough email, even everything is in a small case. And there are abbreviation like, okay, WIP. You can't send this kind of email to your client. So you have to add some professionalism to this email. And for this, you're going to specify a task now. Okay, so first you specify agent, then you specify task, then you specify your crew. So email task, let me just create directly here. So you're using this task object, and here, okay, here you will specify what agent. So for this task, you want to use the email agent that you created. And the description is that take the following rough email and rewrite it in a professional and polished version. And also expand abbreviation. You can give extra instructions like WIP is work in progress. Okay. And you're using Python format string. So you are specifying the actual email as well. And expected output says that a professional written output. So this is the instruction on what kind of output. Sometimes you want output to be in a JSON format, in a table format. Okay. So that's just the expected output instruction. Once the task is specified, you will create a crew. You will say, okay, this is my crew. And see, a crew can have multiple agents. Right now we have only one agent, which is this, which is fine. And then you will specify task. You can have multiple tasks, by the way. You can have multiple tasks, 1, 2, 3. If you want to do it in sequence, you specify task 1, task 2, etc. In our case, just one task, so let's specify that. And verbose is true, which means it will print more output. And then you will just say crew.kickoff, and whatever result you are getting, you will print the result. Okay, so let's run this cell. So see, it started the execution, and the task is this. Okay, and here is the final answer. Look at this email, looks much more professional. Dear team, I'm writing whatever, and it expanded on WIP abbreviation. Okay, work in progress. See, we gave that instruction, remember? Expand abbreviation. So it did that. Okay, so task completion, and this is the output. All right, hooray, we just created our first basic agent in CrewAI. Now let's add tool usage in this agent. The agent is working fine for common abbreviations like this, but sometimes you have company specific abbreviation. We have this AI services company called Agentic Technologies, and in my company, we have different teams, different client projects, and per project or per technical architecture, there might be abbreviation that people use, such as TAS, Technical Architecture Stack, DBX. All these abbreviations are very private to this organization. So general LLM, which is trained on internet data, will not have any idea on what this means. So let's say if you have an email that looks something like this. So original email is looping in Priya, TAS and PRX updates are in the DAC, ETA, whatever. I mean, if you want to expand it, you have to provide this company specific abbreviations as a tool to your LLM. So we are going to build that custom tool. Okay, so just copy paste, Control C, Control V, this particular notebook, and let's call it email agent with tool. And here I'll just run this code I think this cell is not needed, so let's delete it. And the original email here will be this. Okay, so this is the email. Well, we need that LLM code actually. So here I'm going to add in the code, I will add this. So let's create an LLM at least. And once LLM is created, you are creating email assistant. Then you have email task and so on. Now let me take this email into a cell here, and I'm going to build a tool. Okay, so we have to build a custom tool because ready-made tool cannot be used here. So from CrewAI, import something called base tool. Actually, it's from CrewAI.tools. Okay, and you are creating a class which is basically replacing your jargons. You know, all these abbreviations are jargons. And even Elon Musk, I think once he sent an email to all his Tesla employees that don't use jargons, they don't use abbreviation, try to expand it. So in that spirit, we are creating a replace jargons tool, which is derived based from a base tool. So this is how you create a tool that can replace all those jargons. And in this, you have to provide a name of the tool, right? So name, and if you want to provide type, and you can just say str, then description, which is replace jargons with more specific items. And here you can see that it is auto completing because of the AI assistant that you have. So here, if you are not enabled AI assistant, you can click and enable it. You get 1 month free by default. Okay, so in the tool that I'm creating, we will have name, description, and we will have a function called run. Okay, so you are taking the body of the email as an input, and the output, this is how you specify the output string, right? The other string, the formatted email. So the jargons that we have, I'm going to specify them as this dictionary. Okay, so in this dictionary, you have the expansion of all the jargons, and I'll just copy paste the code, folks. So I'll just say, okay, in the email, essentially what you're doing is you're converting email to lowercase, and then in the email, whenever you are finding that particular jargon, you are just replacing. You're saying consider replacing this jargon with this replacement. Okay, so it's a simple for loop that we wrote. And in order to test this, what you can do is let's create the jargon tool, and then jt dot, I think you can just say jt dot run an original email. Okay, I'm just testing the tool before I use it in my agent. So let's execute this cell, control enter. See, here it is saying consider replacing PRX with this, consider replacing TAS with this. So the tool is working okay, and now all you need to do is specify the tool in your email assistant. You can specify it in task also, but here there is an argument called tools, and in tools you will specify JT because that is your tool. Okay, so take the following. I think we are good to go now. We can run this code. So once again, we are taking professional email writing help, and we want to improve this email. And we are using all this abbreviation expansion, which is very specific private data to my organization. All right, let's see. So it is running, and look at this agent tool execution. So when it realizes that it needs to use this tool, it will use it. So it will use its sense of judgment. It's not like it uses this tool all the time. It knows that now I'm expanding this email and there are abbreviations, and for abbreviations, I can take help of this particular tool. So it calls that particular tool, and see, this is the tool input. So tool input is the email, tool output is this. So now you got this text as an output from tool. That text goes back to your LLM, and LLM will use that help to formalize the email. Okay, so see, it will look something like this. So you have your LLM here, correct? So this is your LLM, and LLM is having access to this jargon tool, right? So this is jargon tool. Now when you provide this email, it will say, okay, TAS means this, WIP means this, etc. And LLM will take this input and it will use it to write a professional email. It's not like it's just copy pasting, dumping it here. LLM is smart. So it is consuming it and understanding it and then writing the email. Okay. So this is the output it got. And then now look at the final email, including Priya in this email, updates on technical architecture stack and project phonics. See, what was my original email? Well, my original email, this TAS and PRX, but it expanded it to that. So just folks, run it. This is so beautiful. We just created our own custom tool by following this. Now, this is the convention that they have, right? You have to derive a class based on base tool, and then you need to have the name, description, and run is the main function that it will execute while making that tool call. Let us now work on building multiple agents and a crew. The problem statement we are going to look at is, say you are writing a blog, okay? Usually what happens is there is one person who is a researcher. So let's say there is this person who is a researcher. So they will go to internet, okay, internet, do all the research. And let's say the topic on which you are writing a blog is the future of EV vehicles, okay, future of EV vehicles. So let's say you are in Times of India, CNN, you're writing this blog. Usually in that company, there will be a researcher who will go through internet, who will go through some private sources, who will interview people and get all the research done. So they will have all the research document. Let's say they create this research document. Then there is a second person who is a creative writer. So they will consume all this raw research and write a very beautiful article, beautiful user consumable article. So we are going to create one agent for researcher, one agent for writer. Then this will be a crew. Okay. So my crew will be my research agent and creative writer. And then we will give it a topic and it will write a blog. So let's create a Jupyter notebook here. And let's say you call it a crew. And here I will do some copy paste business, because copy paste is the very, very powerful skill or a weapon that you can have. And okay, use same Gemini model. And then from crew, this is like pretty much same agent, task, and crew from CrewAI, right? You're importing this, and just to save on time, I will just do copy paste here. So the first agent is research specialist. You provide its goal, okay, research interesting facts about the topic. And when you want topic to be dynamic, you specify in a angle bracket like this. And when you do crew.kickoff to give the actual task, at that time you'll be able to specify the topic. We will see how it works, okay? Remaining things are kind of same. Then the writer agent, you are specifying these three things are important basically. Okay, you are a creative writer, write a short blog, whatever you are skilled at writing this. Okay, so let's execute this. This is done. Now you specify your task. So you have two tasks, right? One is research task, which you will give to research agent. Second one is creative writing task, which you will give it to creative writer. So let's do those tasks. So task 1, description. Find 3 to 5 interesting articles about this. A bullet list of 3 to 5 facts. So you're just getting a bullet list of facts. And then you're writing a 100-word blog post about whatever. And see here, agent is a research agent. Okay. Here is agent is writer agent. And in the context, you can specify task 1. So for context, basically task 2 is dependent on task 1. So that's why you are specifying this as a context. And then crew is going to be the crew. You notice that AI assistant, it just completed. It knew what I need to type in and it just did it for me. And then crew.kickoff. Now here in the inputs, you can specify a dictionary where you can say what is the topic. And the topic is the future of electrical vehicles. So let's say control enter and run it. So agent started, see research specialist, it is running and it is finding the 3 to 5 interesting facts. So it found interesting facts based on its pre-trained knowledge. So you see data from 2023, 2022. We are in 2025 by the way, but we understand it doesn't have access to internet. So whatever it is doing is okay. I mean, it is up to our expectation. And then it found 5 facts, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At that, it will give it to the second agent, which is creative writer. And creative writer is writing 100-word blog out of it. See? So this is the final answer. So this is the blog that you got. But as I said, the problem here is we don't have the latest internet data. And for that, we can use one of the ready-made tools in CrewAI. Giving your crew an access to internet is actually very easy. CrewAI comes up with a lot of ready-made tools. Okay, so if you click on available CrewAI tools, see, these are all the tools that it has. And it has this Serper dev tool, which is going to help it search the internet. Okay, so we are going to use that particular tool. So we just copy paste this code. But before that, let me just copy and create a copy of this and call it crew with tools. Okay, and here we are going to import from CrewAI tools Serper dev tool. Okay, now Serper. So Serper is a platform that allows you to do Google search. So you need to get the API key for that. So just say Serper API, just sign in. I'm gonna sign in with my Google account, and they provide certain access basically. So I created my own API key here. So just create an API key and copy paste this key into your environment file. All right. So in your environment file, you will say Serper API key. You mention your key here. Your key, whatever the key, and Gemini API key is also your key. Okay. Once this is done, you want to provide access of this to your research agent, right? Because research agent is searching the internet. So tools Serper dev tool. Okay. Now let's run the code and see what happens. So control enter, control enter, control enter. See, here also it is talking about 2023. So looks like we need to do some prompt tuning. So here, maybe in the description, I will say, find interesting recent facts as of the year 2025. Okay. So let me do this now. And you see, now agent tool execution. It is searching the internet with Serper. So that is what I wanted, that it should search the internet. And in the tool output, it is finding all these parameters. See, it is going through internet and it is looking at some articles. So let's say look at this particular article. Okay, so if you look at this particular article, it is just doing Google search. And this article is June 2025, right? It's like I think last month only, right now in July, June. So it's going through internet, scrapping internet, scrapping all those articles and providing this tool output to LLM. Now LLM in our crew, see, the execution is something like this. Let me just show you. So you have your research agent, right? So you have your research agent. It is accessing internet and Serper tool is giving it some kind of block, text block with all the latest article. Okay. Then it will consume it and it will process it. And it will pass that processed information back to the second agent, which is a writer agent. Now writer has all that latest information and it will be able to write a beautiful blog. Okay. So here, this tool output is here. It went to your research specialist and the final answer is this. I think and so see, this is the final answer from research specialist. So it is this particular block. It is not the final answer. Okay, it's agent's final answer. Then it gives it to the second agent, which is creative writer. And creative writer will write, okay, the electric exchange with, see, 10.49, Kager 16.2, say 16.2, all that information that research agent accumulated, it is using it to write the final blog. How cool is that, right? So just access a CrewAI for all the available tools here, and it makes writing agents so easy. Let's think what can make a tool a good tool. So in order for tool to be a good tool, it should use caching whenever needed. So let's say you have an LLM. It is calling a tool, and this tool is retrieving records from a database. Now let's say if these records are static, if it can use some cache, like a Redis cache or something, then it doesn't have to hit the database or API too often. So that way performance can be improved, okay? So caching is one good quality of a tool. Second, it should be fault tolerant. Fault tolerant means, let's say it doesn't have access to this database. It should know where to fall back. It should have some good error handling, okay? Let's say it goes to some backup database and gives you the records. It should have some retry mechanism. It should not be like, okay, it just crashes or it just gives like a random error response. Third thing, it should be versatile. Versatile as in LLM gives input in different formats, in challenging formats. Tool should be able to handle those. So whoever is writing the tool, you have to take care of all these parameters. Then the question comes, okay, what makes an agent a good agent, right? So if you want to build a good agent, then the first thing is role play. See, we are specifying this role play parameter. So now you can say, okay, you are an expert analyst. You can say you are a data analyst. See, let's say you're doing some data analysis task. You can say you are a data analyst, or you can say you are a senior data analyst with expertise in Power BI. See, these two things will make a big difference actually, because you are setting the context right. You are asking it to assume a certain role. Second thing is, which makes agents powerful and capable, is tools. Once you provide it an access of tools which satisfies those three criteria that we specified, agents become more powerful. Then comes memory. Okay, memory is like you are having ChatGPT like conversation. It's able to remember, like short-term memory, long-term memory. That makes tool more powerful because it knows the context, it knows your preference, it knows what you have asked before. Then guardrails. So agents are like monkeys. You can't give them a password of your bank. You have to put certain guardrails. Okay, so let's say if this is my agent, it needs to have certain boundary. It can maneuver around in these boundaries, but it should not be able to go out. So those guardrails we need to specify. And then comes collaboration. Okay, see, CrewAI is a orchestration framework. They encourage creating multiple agents, each agent focusing on a specific task. Therefore, if you can collaborate well with other agents, overall output is going to be better. So these are the 5 characteristics that makes any agent a good agent. Okay, now so far you might have realized when we write this code, there is a lot of prompt engineering. See, we are providing all these instructions, right? Role, goal, backstory. Then in the task also, description, there is a lot of text, a lot of instructions, a lot of guiding that you're doing for LLM. Wouldn't it be good if we can specify, see, if we can move all these instructions out of this code into some configuration file, and then code is just writing code. Code should not have all this prompt engineering. So if you move it in a different file, the benefit you get it is whenever you want to change your prompt, you change it from that file. You don't have to modify your code. And that way you're doing loose coupling, which will be creating less bugs in the future. Luckily, CrewAI provides an amazing way of specifying all these instructions in a YAML file. Okay, so the way it works is you create a directory. Okay, let's call it config. In that, you create a file called agents.yaml. YAML is a file format, by the way. If you've done programming, you'll know. And then you can also create another file called tasks.yaml. And here, essentially, I'll just copy paste. You'll understand what I mean here. See, research agent, whatever you are doing in research agent, you specify all of that in this format. So research agent is an agent, colon, then in the second one, you specify which LLM you want to use, right? So see, here we were specifying LLM here, but in agents, you just specified here. Then role. So these are same instruction, folks. So role, whatever I have here, is the same thing. Then goal, this exact same thing I have here. Okay, same way for writer agent. And then for task.yaml, again, same thing. See, in task, what were you specifying? You were specifying description and expected output and the agent. So here, see description, same thing, expected output. An agent will specify while we write the code. So now I'm going to create a new, I'll create a regular file, Python file, and call it, let's say just YAML, okay, for the lack of better words. And in this code, you will specify, you will just import all this code, right? Like CrewAI import this, then CrewAI.project. We need this CrewBase class to read that YAML configuration. And then from the tools, you can import whatever tool is needed. Now here, you will say at CrewBase. So you are deriving a class from this CrewBase, and you will say class blog crew. And you will create class level of variables to declare agent config. So agent config is inside config directory agent.yaml. Okay, this is the syntax, folks. And then whatever agent you are creating, you will annotate it with agent. Okay, so what is this agent? Well, this is researcher, and the output of that is agent. Okay, so return agent, and then you will specify your config file. So here the config is self.agentsconfig, correct? Self.agentsconfig, and here you will specify the name of your research agent. Now, if you're a Python programmer, you'll be like, okay, this is an error because self.agentconfig is a string. In that string, you can't treat it like dictionary, right? And because of this annotations and because of the way this thing is designed, this is going to work. Now there is an error that it is pointing, and if you want to remove the error, you can just put this. So that way that error is gone. But trust me, this code is going to work okay. And for the tools, you are specifying SerperDev tool and LLM. I think you don't need to specify because of this config. See, you have specified LLM here. So when you do this, it will kind of get it. I think you can specify tools also, but anyways, I'm just feeling lazy not to move it there. And verbose is equal to true. Okay. In similar fashion, you can also write your other agent. Okay. So let's say that is your writer agent, and in the agent config, this writer agent is nothing but this. Similarly, specify the task as well. So let me just specify the task, research task, right? And it returns the task, and the config is equal to self.task_config. And what is the task for research? Well, it is this task. And your agent is self.researcher. Make sure you're putting this brackets, okay? So, and to remove this kind of, error, like when you put it, you see this, there was like a line which went away. Okay, research task and block task, you can specify in a similar fashion. Okay, now you can specify your crew. So this is my crew, and crew is nothing but you have two agents, researcher and writer, and you have two tasks, research task and this task. Okay, now let's do our main function. So blog crew is this, and blog crew dot crew. Okay, dot crew should be this dot kickoff. In the kickoff, you will have inputs, which is nothing but a topic, and your topic is not Python, the future of electrical vehicle. Okay, so let's right click, run this. See, it started and it called the tool returned the response, and then there is a tool output. So that might take multi-turn as well, and a research specialist final answer is this. Then it will start creative writer, and then agent's final answer is this. See, it wrote this blog. So essentially, coding wise, see, the final outcome is same. It's just that we moved all that prompt engineering stuff into our sort of like configuration file. So tomorrow, let's say if you want to change this model, you just change it here. You don't have to update your code. And if you're done programming, you will know that when you do loose coupling like this, where you're keeping instructions and configuration in a separate file and you're not modifying a code, you will have less bugs, more maintainable code. And this is the amazing, beautiful feature that CrewAI offers. Folks, so far, whatever we have learned, we will use it to build a complete project using CrewAI. Let's imagine you are a SaaS company which has built this product called AutoSheet IQ, which is an AI-powered Excel automation tool. Okay, so it's a new startup. They are building this AI-powered Excel automation tool, and you are part of their marketing team, marketing and social media team, and you want to promote this product on social media, blogs, etc. because it's a new product. So you want to create a buzz in social media so that you can sell your license. Now, there is a similar company called Quadratic, and if you look at their LinkedIn, they will be making LinkedIn posts, they will be making Twitter posts, they will be creating shorts, reels. You know, nowadays, if you want to promote your product, you have to cover all kind of social media. And as part of this plan, you want to build a social media or let's say marketing strategy. So a head of marketing who is working for this startup will conduct a market research. Okay, who are the competitors? Who is our target audience? You know, where we should post. And then they will build a marketing strategy. Sometimes if you're targeting Gen Z youngsters, you have to go to Twitter, or I think Instagram and TikTok. If you are targeting, let's say 45 plus age group, maybe you target Facebook. So you, based on who is your target audience, you have to carefully design your marketing strategy. And then you build something called a content calendar. Content calendar is nothing. It's a calendar of what kind of posts you will make when. So let's say on 7/22 at 10, I will make a post on LinkedIn. This is the topic, you know, and these are the key themes. So you have to build this kind of content calendar. In my own company, Code Basics, we also do this. We do market research, we build a content calendar, then we use tools to automate the content. And this task is done by marketing head. So let's say in our AutoSheet IQ company, marketing head is Reena. Okay, this person is our marketing head. She will do market research, then she will build a market strategy, and then she will create content calendar using the help of some of her team member. And then you will post drafts on LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever you want to post it. Okay, and you will also create scripts for reels and shorts. Okay, and this is done by content writer. Usually in companies I have seen there is a separate content writer for social media and a different content writer for blog, because blog is like a long form content. Okay, so let's say here he's Tony. Tony is the content writer especially for social media. So he's taking care of posting drafts, he's taking care of this, and he's also actually helping Reena with the content calendar. And then comes content research for blogs, because blogs is needed for SEO. SEO means search engine optimization. If someone is searching AI powered Excel, you want Google to promote your product, right? And for that, you have to write a lot of blogs. If you worked in SEO, you will understand. And then you will draft the blogs. Okay. So let's say this work is done by Nancy. Nancy is a content writer specifically for blogs. Eventually you want to do SEO optimization, and usually for SEO you have a person. So let's say we have Varun, who is SEO specialist working in our company, and his job is to optimize all the content for SEO. And one of the things that they do is they do keyword optimization. So they will figure out, okay, for our product, which keywords are in hot demand. They will look at Google Trends. They will use many other tools to figure out all these keywords, right? So see, all these keywords. And they put these keywords in their website as part of their SEO optimization. So if someone is searching for, let's say, GPT-XL, maybe your our AutoSheet IQ website will pop up. They sometimes use the competitor's name as well. So if you're a competitor, you put it so that when someone is searching for competitor, actually your website shows up. So this is all part of the SEO science. So to summarize, in our crew, when we are building a crew, we will have 4 agents, right? Marketing head, content writer for social media, content writer for blog, and SEO specialist. And we are going to perform all these tasks in a sequence. Okay. Eventually we will generate the draft for different posts. So see, we have draft for email campaign. We have a Facebook post, Instagram post, LinkedIn. Folks, this is going to be intense. We are going to generate a lot of posts, and we will also generate some other things. For example, keyword.txt, then market research, marketing strategy. This is going to be amazing, complete project. So I hope you got an idea on the problem statement. Let's start coding now. Let's create a separate folder here for our project. We are going to call it Marketing Crew. In this folder, I will also create another folder called config, where we will put our agents.yaml and task.yaml. Okay. So let's create agents.yaml and also task.yaml. Now I can go ahead and write all my prompt for next 15 minutes or 20 minutes in front of you, or I can use the power of copy paste. Okay, so I'm going to save your time and use the power of copy paste. So here the agent is basically, we have 4 agents, right? Like these 4 agents that we talked about. Who are the 4 agents, by the way? These 4. Marketing head, content writer for social media, for blog, and SEO specialist. So see, head of marketing, content writer for social media, for blog, and SEO specialist. And rest of the things is something we have done before, right? You specify your LLM. What is the role? Head of marketing. Goal, lead the marketing team to achieve specific goals, whatever, blah, 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 long text. And you are an experienced marketing professional with a track record of leading successful marketing campaigns. See, all these prompts are going to matter because LLM will derive context. It will assume this role, right? You say head of marketing. So all these things that specify is going to make an impact on your final output. Then content creator for social media, right? You can read through it, folks, and you can modify it. Okay. For SEO specialist, you have optimized the blogs and content for search engine, blah, blah, blah. And for task, we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different tasks, folks. And once again, I'm going to use the power of copy paste here. So the first task is market research. You see the market research. Okay. So what do you do in market research? Well, conduct market research to identify trends, opportunities, and challenges in the industry. Focus on customer needs, competitive strategies, and market dynamics to inform marketing decisions. So this is how you can make your product name description dynamic. Okay. So here you have specified it sort of like a variable, and also you will say current date in bracket current date. So it will perform market research as of the current date that you're running. And we will see in the code, how you kind of tie these things together. Expected output is comprehensive market research report that includes this. Okay. Then you're building a marketing strategy for whatever product. And then you're building a content calendar. See here, content calendar. And then you're preparing post draft and so on. Okay, so once again, look through it. There is a lot of text, a lot of prompt engineering you have to do. Usually you will perform one task, run it, you will see it. But if I try to do that here, this is going to be 5-hour tutorial. So I'm just trying to save your time. Now let's create our crew.ai file. So crew.py file, okay. And here we'll do our initialization, whatever we have done before. And here you can see that other than Serper Dev tool, which is internet search, we are importing some other tools also. This tool, scrap website tool, will go and scrap any website. This will help you read a directory on your local disk. Then this will help you read and write files, etc. Okay. Now let's create our crew class. So how do you create it? You have to derive it based on crew base, right? And then just specify your agents YAML and task YAML, pretty obvious stuff. And then you specify your agent for your marketing manager, head of marketing. So head of marketing is agents config head of marketing. So this thing is this, right? Head of marketing. These strings should match. And they are using Google because they have to do internet research. So they will use Serper Dev tool to search internet. They will scrap websites. And then for directory read tool, what we are going to do is, see, when this crew runs, you will see a directory called resources. And resources will have another subfolder called drafts. And those drafts will contain your LinkedIn posts, reels, and so on. Okay. So directory read tool helps you read that particular directory, and file writer and file read tool will help you write and read files locally. Reasoning is equal to true, which means it will act in a react, like reasoning and action. Okay. And then inject date true means it will inject the current date. So see this current date that you are seeing, it will inject that current date due to this parameter, whether to automatically inject the current date into task. See, that is the purpose of that particular parameter. And reasoning is whether the engine should reflect and create a plan before executing the task. So when you run this crew, what will happen is, if reasoning is true, it will first run the planning agent. So it will plan. It will not just react. I mean, this term, by the way, is sometimes confusing. So let me explain. There are actually two terms. Reactive. See, reactive is what? Reactive is, let's say you're going and something comes up, you move your head. It's very reactive, right? You're not thinking much, very natural instinct. Whereas react, so you're reasoning, okay, thinking, and then acting. So you take a pause, you think. Let's say you want to get married. You don't just say yes. You reason, you think, and then you act. So for react, you have to use this parameter. Allow delegation means this agent can give tasks to others. See, you are head of marketing. You can give tasks to social media agent and other agents. If you say false, then this cannot assign tasks to other agents when they are working in a crew. And max RPM is max request per minute. So we are throttling it because we don't want our API usage to go very high. So you might have Gemini free account and they will have some limitation. So using this, you can limit. I have a paid account, so I'm gonna just run. You might run out of tokens, etc. But at least you will be able to watch what I'm doing here. Okay. And similarly, folks, I will create other agents. Once again, this is mostly copy-paste business with some fine-tuning. See, when you are specifying YAML, most of the instructions are specified in YAML only. So code-wise, it's like actually similar. See, content, creator, social media, right? It's kind of similar. Everything is similar. It's just that you're changing this configuration, and maybe tool might be different. And iterations, you might want to control the iterations. See, maximum iterations for an agent to execute. Because like if you don't have upper cap on iterations, since this is a reasoning agent, it might make 1 million calls to your Gemini API, and you will be like, you might think that it's better to hire a human social media writer rather than writing this CrewAI program, because your billing, your Gemini OpenAI billing will just go so high. So you have to put some control through maximum iteration. And similarly, content writer for blog, then SEO specialist and whatnot. Then you will write your first task. So your task is market research. Once again, this is all kind of, there is not much code. It's all, you know what we are going to write. See, in market research, you will assign your head of marketing as your agent, right? So head of marketing, if you look at it, it's this. So this is the agent that will work on market research. And the config is from task market research, right? So what is market research? Well, market research means do this. And these are the parameters you are going to take, okay? Similarly, I will just copy paste remaining, I think 8 or 9 tasks, all those tasks, okay? Now, in terms of output, you want some kind of formatted output, right, in a JSON format. So in task, you can specify your output JSON format. And output JSON format, you can specify using a Pydantic model. So if you have used Pydantic before, it helps you define schema. So in our case, we are going to create this content class, which is a Pydantic model, and it looks something like this. So the output that you want is, okay, content type. What is my content type? Blog post, social media, and so on. What is the topic? What is the target audience? Okay, what is the actual content? So that's what you want as an output JSON in your task, okay? And then comes the crew. So let's define a crew now. So crew is this marketing crew. And agents, you are saying self.agents. Now you might be like, okay, in this class, see, we don't have agents variable, do we? No, right? Agent config. But internally, CrewAI, because it's derived from this and due to the library design, when you say self.agents, it will take all the agents in your YAML file. Similarly, when you say self.task, it will take all the tasks in your YAML file and it will execute them in sequence. See, when you say process.sequential, it will execute in sequence. You can also have it in hierarchy. Like sometimes, see, right now we are executing everything in a sequence, but sometimes you might want to have hierarchy. So it is for that. Planning is equal to true. Planning LLM is that, and maximum request per minute is this. Okay. So now let's write our main code. So main code is this, and then the input that we want to provide. So my product name is, see, in agents and even tasks, you're specifying product name, description. See this product underscore name, product underscore description, target audience, and budget. So my product name is AI powered Excel automation tool, Auto Sheet IQ. My target is small and medium enterprises. I'm not looking for like big enterprises like Walmart or Tata, etc., because they are already in Microsoft or some other ecosystem. I want to address the small and medium scale businesses. And product description is whatever. And my budget, by the way, as a marketing manager, Reena got only 50,000 rupees as her budget. So if she wants to promote ads or whatever she wants to do, this is her budget. I know this is very less actually, but whatever. I just put some number. And then current date is this. Okay. So now you are just kicking off. Okay. So I'm going to run this code and let's see if we have any other setup ready. I think we need environment file and all that, but I think in the directory we already have it. So let me just try it out and see if this works. Now, folks, this is going to take a lot of time. I know you might have a free plan of Google Gemini. For running this project, you can consider upgrading it. If not, you can just watch, what I'm doing. And I got some error. Object has no attribute. Content writer, social media. Content creator, social media. Oh, I think there is a mismatch. So I fixed all those typos and now the crew is running okay. So you will see that it will first run we had that reasoning true. So it will create a reasoning plan. So it will understand the task. It will perform key steps and so on. See, there is a lot of text it is generating, a lot of tokens it's going to consume. I am ready to execute the task. Then the first agent starts. Okay. So you can understand that when in the crew, when you have planning turned on, it will first plan everything. And then from self.agents, it will call the first agent, which is your head of marketing. So they will perform research, okay, using the internet tools and so on. And you will see, I think, tool calls too. See, agent tool, Serper, right? So it is searching using AI Excel automation tool, and it is finding all these articles, see, Microsoft, whatever. So it is doing the real internet research, folks, as if you are head of marketing going to internet looking for all the tools. It is doing that, okay? And then you have, let's see, agent tool. Again, I think it might make multiple calls to internet, by the way. See, it search for best Excel automation software. This is where agent can get crazy because it might take multiple turn approach and it might, take time. See, if they found all this competitor, Microsoft Power Automate, Zapier, numerous AI, all this. Now they are using a tool output, and let's see what else it is doing. Then reasoning plan, folks, you will see a lot of trace. And by the way, this code will run for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes or so. In my case, it ran for a long time. It is still running. So let's see. Let's look at our directory actually and see what it produced. Okay, config. I don't know. I need to create that folder, I think, resources and draft. Let me create it because it might not save. I'm not sure if it's going to save. So let me just create a directory manually. Resources and drafts. And in the draft, you will see the actual content that it will put, right? So here, it is still working on it. But while it is still working on it, let me show you the actual output because I ran it before and the code is on GitHub. So you can find it. So if you go to resources, there is a directory called saved drafts and saved draft, which I have generated. So look at this, folks. The content calendar, first of all. This is actually generated by CrewAI, okay? So it generated a content calendar for all this post, okay? So on this date, 10 o'clock, LinkedIn, 5 ways to transform this. So that is my LinkedIn post. And then in the post, you have first LinkedIn post. So topic is, see, this is the JSON format, folks, that we got. Let me show you. You remember that Agentic class that we created? Content type, topic, target audience. So that's what it is. Content type, topic, target audience. See, these are the tags, Excel, automation, and this is the actual content that you will post on LinkedIn. Unlock precedent power of whatever, and you might provide some links, okay? Then for Facebook or let's say Twitter, you will have a small post, right? So your content topic is this, stay updated, whatever. See? So you can fine tune it and kind of refine it further. But this creates a very solid plan for your team, marketing team, something that they can start using. Competitor pricing, see? Competitor pricing is, it is working autonomously and putting all these details in the files that your marketing team needs. Then it has, I think, keywords. So keywords that you need for your SEO, see, it generated. Now see, it generated M365 Copilot, Zapier. Why? Because these are the competitors, right? And when someone is searching for competitor, you want to have your name here. See, if I search for Zapier, right? What happens is, along with Zapier, you will find some other, sometimes you find all this. See, people search for HubSpot and so on. So that is the essence of it. And then you have budget allocation. So 55,000 rupees are given. What this agent is saying is for keyword search, spend this much. For competitor analysis, just giving you a rough breakdown. Then you also have your marketing strategy that it generated. Wow, see. Executive summary, target audience, value proposition, marketing channel, budget allocation. Usually a marketing head will come up with this kind of strategy, but here it's generated by Crew. And then reels, for reels, you will have a post, right? Like see, content, visual. For a reel, it is also showing, see, you will show a visual of person looking stressed, whatever. Then you will have audio. Just look at this content, folks. It's doing amazing job. I think it's, in my opinion, it is impressive. All right, folks. So that's what we have for the project. Sometimes I have seen that this LLM behaves unpredictably. It can give error. In that case, you might have to rerun it again. But the code, everything is given. Please try it out. And in terms of other extra features for CrewAI, see, they have a lot of features, right? So one of the things I wanted to cover is memory, but in the interest of time, I'll just briefly mention it. So to enable memory, all you have to do is memory equal to true in your crew. Very simple. By default, it will use OpenAI embedding. But let's say if you want to use Google, then for Google, you will say memory true and you have to provide your embedder. Okay. So when you're storing things in memory, it will convert text to vectors. So that's why you need this embedding models, etc. It also has human in the loop, CLI. It has a visual interface where you can create agents using no code or low code approach. It has supports for MCP and so on. Maybe we'll create a follow-up tutorial to cover that all. All right. I hope you like this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have a question, post in the comment box below. Check video description for code and other resources. Thank you very much for watching.